Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Vanessa and I am the owner of Glitter Fritter. I love yarn. I am a fairly new knitter and I am a crocheter. I'm a pattern designer and right now I am also a tiny notion stitch marker designer that I have a small Etsy shop for. But basically I love all things yarn, and so on this channel that's what I do. I share kind of my yarn adventures, my knitting adventures, as I learn more and more, as I pick up new skills, as I try new projects, and as I test out new patterns. I started doing this because I'm a writer and I needed another creative outlet, and so I started crocheting because I wanted to make dolls for my 3-year-old, and well, she was younger then, but I got immediately addicted. I started designing my own amigurumi. And kind of took on knitting basically to knit socks for me and members of my family. And it just spiraled from there. And now I am just obsessed with all things that have to do with knitting and crocheting and anything that's fiber arts related. So because nobody in my family has this issue and this obsession, I started this channel. And so if you want to see me kind of ramble and go on this journey of discovering fiber arts for the first time, then make sure you subscribe and that you hit the bell notification so you don't miss any future videos. But today, I am starting a really, really fun project vlog. This might take me a while. I am hoping to finish it before the end of summer because we're going away for just a weekend. And then I'm going away for a week to college, and I kind of wanted to wear this because I have been thinking about making the Peony Tee. So the Peony Tee is by a local designer. I'm going to pop all the information right on here. I don't want to mispronounce names, but it's actually a designer that I met. And she's amazing and brilliant and so sweet. And this just looked like a basic tee with like a slight twist because I really like the way that the ribbon kind of is done. There's like a little detail on there that's really, really nice. And then just seemed like a simple, fun way to end as my final summer knit. And so I've been having the Peony Tee kind of on my list of projects to make for a while, and for some reason I just couldn't do it. I don't think I had the right yarn for it. I was going to use like a bamboo mix that I already had, and it would work for it. It would work for this tee. But for some reason, I don't know why, I just like made in my head that this project is so special to me, only because like I met the designer and she's lovely, and I got the pattern directly from her during an event, and so it meant more to me. And so I wanted a special yarn. And the other day I was in a Spin Me a Yarn, which is a yarn shop that's near to us, and they were having a massive sale, and their sale was on everything, including but not limited to their Noro yarn. And as you know, I tried the vintage Noro and I really liked it, and I will link that in the cards, that vlog. But I didn't have a big amount of it. And so when I saw that they had the Noro Kakigori on sale, I think it was like 49 Canadian that I paid for it, which is still a lot. And I've never knitted with this type of yarn before. And everybody was talking about it, so I had to try it. I had to pick it up. Like I needed to pick up this yarn because just look at the colors on this. So this is in the colorway. Let me see. This is color 30. That's the little, so it's a mix of 50% cotton, 30% silk, 10% viscose, and 10% polyamide. So it's a blend of everything, really, truly. But the majority of it is cotton, and so I am expecting it to, and silk, right? So I'm expecting a rougher texture, and I did get that. So as per usual in Nessa style, I was too excited. I had to start knitting, and then I realized that, hey, maybe I should be like doing a vlog of this for you guys. I actually just filmed the outro for this vlog here for the Sophie scarf, and so I figured let me hop on before I get too far in this project so I can keep you guys kind of abreast of my situation. So this is how far I have gotten in the Peony Tee. So my stitch markers, just obsessed with them. They're little bats. This is what the yarn is looking like when I'm working it up. The variegation on this is looking really, really nice. I'm really liking all the colors. I like that it's darker with a pop of color, so it's looking like extra vintage, which is kind of like what you want from a Noro. So as far as I've gone on the neck line, which is feeling wide, like but like a good amount of wide. Like I think it will fit like exactly where I need it to. I did size down because the yarn, the yarn weight and the gauge that it asked for, I needed to size down on mine. In order to get close to the dimensions that I need for myself, obviously for my sizing. And that was fine because I think that will mean that I will use a little bit less yarn too, because I really don't want to buy more than this. I was looking for projects I can do with just this because it's quite pricey, right? And so I don't want to buy like another $50 like ball of yarn just to finish off like the ribbing. So if this has to be a crop top again, that will have to be, you know. But so far I've gotten the ribbing done, and then I finished the short rows for the back. So I've got the short rows on the back. This was my first time doing shaping short rows for the back, and I really enjoyed it. It was really fun. Kind of got towards the end where I was like, I just want to knit in the round now. Like I'm kind of over purling. Which I recently learned a Norwegian purl, and I really like it. It's much easier for my hands, I find, but it does take a bit longer, but easier for hands. So yeah, I was kind of done with that, but I'm really excited because now I'm just going around and around doing my increases for the yoke, and then I'm going to separate for the sleeves and finish off the body and figure out how much I need to do the sleeves. I might just do like slightly shorter sleeves on this one. I'll see how it goes. But all in all, I'm really enjoying it so far. So this is how far I've gotten. I am hoping, because I'm knitting this like mostly at home, so a lot of it you're gonna see if I'm doing it like the knitting portions of the vlog, it might be like kind of darker at times because I am working on this one. I'm also working on another Sophie scarf simultaneously, but this one is kind of like my evening project just because I find I need to pay attention a little bit more, and it's not so mindless because there's like a lot happening, especially with the short rows, my first time doing it. So hopefully I have some time to knit during the day this weekend, and then I can fill you guys in on where I'm at, and we'll take it from there. I'm really excited. I am really liking the way it's turning out. I will say I am not liking it on my fingers. I realized that I do not like yarn that is rougher, and it's been harder on my fingers. I also am a little bozo, and I didn't fully read the pattern, and I've cast on, for some reason, I don't know why, on a much longer circular needle. And I mean, good thing I have interchangeables because it was a quick fix. So what I did was I switched quickly to my shorties. These are the Denim Knit Pro shorties. So I switched over to those really quick before going back to my leaky. I can never pronounce it right. Please tell me in the comments how you pronounce these needles. So I switched over to that very quickly, and that was like easy enough, but still kind of like put a dent in my progress and took a bit of time. And now I'm getting to the point where I will be needing a longer cord soon, which is nice, and then it's going to become a lot more comfortable. But for a while there, before I switch, and even the shorties are like a little bit more finicky to work with. I was feeling it on my hands because the yarn has zero stretch, zero give whatsoever. And so if you're knitting tightly, which I do, and you're knitting on a tighter circumference, you're going to feel it. So that wasn't as fun, but that part's over now. And that was the fun part. And I do really love how this turned out. I did the gauge swatch, and I blocked the gauge swatch, and it made a difference in the material as well. So I'm super excited. So we'll see if we can finish this. Today is August 8th. And so I want to finish this by August 20th. So in 20 days. To give myself to block it and give myself a couple of days to try it, if not 27. So we're looking at under 3 weeks. And this is where we're at. I've made tops in less than time than that. And so I am optimistic, but not so much so. So we'll see where we're at. I think we can do it. Let's push ourselves and let's see how far we can get. Yay! Barely in frame. My hair is a mess. But I am doing my first try on, and the sleeves are a bit tight because I have them tied off right now on the cords. So they feel a little tight right now, but I know that once the cords are off, they'll stretch and they'll be perfect. But this is like a perfect fit right now. So I love, there's like this sticking out, that's why it's bubbly. I love that there was some shaping done in the chest area. There were some short rows to make more space because I got girls. And so I need that space. So it is just fitting absolutely perfectly. This is how far we are right now. This is what I have left in my yarn. It should be just enough to do a top like down to here, which is like waist level. I think that should be plenty. The sleeves only need like a little bit more. It's not like a very long sleeve. So I will have enough yarn for that. What I might do is just kind of do the body until I reach to about yay high, and then do the sleeves. And then whatever's left over is where the body will fall, because then I won't have to buy more yarn. But I love it. The pattern is amazing, you guys. The one thing I did was I just, as always, I put in a stretchy cord in that ribbing because I made my ribbing very loose. I've been trying to do the Norwegian purl, and I just to make it easier on my hands, and I really like it for the hand part, but I find that my stitches are way too loose when I use the Norwegian purl method to purl. And so I think I might just wear like a compression glove or something when I do just regular purling, because I don't know, or I'll have to keep practicing. If you do the Norwegian purl, let me know how you keep your stitches tight, because mine are much too loose that way, and they're already kind of looser on the purl in general. So just let me know. But I just kind of wanted to show you the first try on. It looks super cute. Once it's walked out, everything will even out, and I just think it looks amazing. I'm so happy with the progress. So this is about a week's worth of work. I don't work on it all the time, but I really like the raglan is looking really nice. Like this is my first like true construction. I guess I did the other one in the Nora yarn, and that was a raglan, but the yarn was so messy that you couldn't tell. And this is like, I feel like this one really shows off like if your stitching is not nice, and I'm pretty proud of myself. I think it's going well. Let's keep going. I want to see how much we're going to a weekend trip, and so we're going to be in the car for a bit, and I'm going to bring this with me because I want to see how much of the body I can get done on this trip, because now it's just all stockinette until we pick up for the sleeves and do a little bit there. And then we do that cool ribbing effect that this shirt has, because it's kind of like an uneven rib, which is really nice. So yeah, super happy. Let's keep going. So I have done quite a bit of work on this guy. I don't want to lose the stitches I just picked up. This is how far I have of the top. So I separated for sleeves like you saw last time when I tried on this piece. And then I've gone quite a bit, kind of almost about halfway, I think, into the body. And what I'm doing now is I'm picking up the sleeves, and I'm going to do that. So I've actually kind of cut the yarn here, and like honestly, it's so you can't tell with this yarn where you join a new one. So you could just tie it if you want to. You cannot tell at all. Then the knots are so small that you don't feel them, just for, you know, a little bit of lazy yarn joining. But what they've done is I'm picking up for the sleeves right now. So that's kind of where I'm at. And I want to do both sleeves because it's only 3 rounds, and then the ribbing on the sleeves, but I want to get both of them done because I'm this much into the yarn. Still have a good amount left, but I want to make sure that the sleeves are done, and then kind of whatever's left is how long this is going to be. It's definitely, I feel like it's going to be like cropped, but I don't think it's going to be that cropped, to be honest with you, because this feels like a lot to me. Again, I could be completely misreading how much yarn I have. I tend to do that. But for now, I think I'm just going to put on a show and have some water and get some of these sleeves done. And I'm hoping to get both sleeves done today, if I can, by tonight. And then maybe we can do, I'm just doing this at my lunch break. I'm working from home today. And then if I can, we'll do another try on with the sleeves to kind of see where we're at. So because there's something that I did actually, I don't know if I mentioned in the last one, but in the last update that I filmed, because it was a little bit back, but I forgot some increases in the short roll shaping for the chest that you do. You're also supposed to increase, and that kind of increases into the sleeve as well. So instead, what I did was I increased in my pickup. So I cast on more stitches to kind of even that out. And I was still a bit short. I was too short, but that was fine because I know that when I pick up sleeves, I actually have 4 stitches extra because I pick up extra usually. So this pattern calls for 1 on either side of where between the cast on, that little gap that you have between the cast on and your stitches that are on hold. But I usually add another pickup to that so that I have no holes at all. And so I know I'm going to have more stitches that way. So what I'm going to do is finish picking up this first row. This first round, and then do that. And then when I'm done with that part, what I'm going to do actually is count how many I have. And if I have to even decrease to get back to the pattern, then I'll do that. So that's the plan. Let's do it. I've hit a snag and I want to talk about it. So I was pretty excited about this whole thing and trying not to show you where the issue had occurred. And I did the sleeves. I've added the sleeves, which were super easy and simple and like regular sleeves. I don't know if you can kind of see. It's hard to tell. I think maybe after I block it and the stitching come out, but you can see where the ribbing is not just like a flat rib. It kind of goes like up and down in waves, which is really cool. If this wasn't such a busy yarn, you'd be able to see it a lot better. I'll probably end up using this rib pattern in other ribbed tops, but you can kind of see more so where it goes like up and down. And so I was pretty excited. And then what I did was I weighed the yarn that I have left. And as I mentioned many times before, I'm trying not to go out and try to get another one of these yarns because it is very pricey, but also because this colorway I can't find anywhere. It's like sold out everywhere. So I need to make use with what I have. And after I weighed my yarn and I calculated based on what I used for the rib and the sleeves, and what I would have to do to make it not cropped, because I don't want it like very cropped. I do want it to be kind of to like a high-waisted pant and slightly below that waistline. I don't have enough yarn. So I realized I do not have enough yarn and I wanted to cry because there is no solving it unless I make a super crop top. And I already made one with Nora yarn before that I can wear over button-up shirts and stuff like that. So I don't need another one of those in my life. And I really wanted this to be a full shirt, like a full t-shirt. So I thought about it. And then I realized that what I can do is stripe out the bottom. So that's what I ended up doing. I am adding this absolutely stunning yellow color that picks up on the yellow shades in this. I was going to back and forth a lot between the colors that I want, like the color I want to choose. And so I could have done like a multicolor stripe, but then I would have to buy like 1,000 different yarns and I didn't want to do that. And so I thought I would do a stripe, like a thicker stripe, about like 7 rows worth of this yellow, interrupted by a smaller stripe of the Nora yarn, another thicker stripe of the yellow, another smaller stripe of the Nora, and keep doing that till I get it to the length that I want it to be before the ribbing, and do the ribbing in this yellow color. And then you'll be able to see that wave pattern a lot more on the yellow as well. And so the yarn that I went and I bought, because it took me also a very long time to pick out yarn that worked with the Nora, because this is obviously like a cotton type blend with other fibers in it, but it's very specific in how it looks. looks. And so you can't just, if I threw out like a regular wool in it, and also the texture of it is a bit uneven, right? It's not spun all the same weight. And also like the weight of it is DK. And so to find a DK that also matched all these categories and had the right color, and I was stuck on yellow for some reason because I think it would just look the coolest with this. So I had the right yellow, was really hard until I found Trailhead Yarns. This is a Canadian yarn, Trailhead Yarns, and I got this at Yarns Untangled in Kensington if you're in Toronto. And it is 55% cotton, 45% linen. This is in the color Gold Rush, and this is the Fundy Tides. Now, this is lace weight, but I'm doing DK. However, the Nora yarn is actually like a DK light. And so I am actually holding 3 of these strands together to give, oh my God, I'm getting like super tangled right now because it's in a project bag, but I'm holding 3 strands together to make it a DK light. Close enough. It's a bit lighter, but that's okay because I think this will open up a bit as well during blocking. So it would be fine. It took forever to get this yarn balled up into 3 balls. However, I do think, and it's hard to tell because I've only done like two rows of this one so far, but I really do think this was the right choice. And I can't wait to see it all together so we can kind of see the stripes. So I think the next time I do a check-in video is when I will have a bunch of these kind of stripes done so we can take a look and see what that looks like. And then I will move it into doing the ribbing and the try-on. But I did try it on again as it is, and it fits really perfectly. Like it literally is like that exact kind of, not negative ease, but like the exact ease, you know, like not positive ease. And it fits like really, really well. And I kind of wanted it. I wanted a more fitted top because I keep making my tops too loose and I don't know how I feel about that. So I did want it to be a bit more fitted. So the actual fit of it is perfect. And now we're just going to have these stripes going down. And I actually feel like that's going to make it that much cooler. So it could have been a very, very good kind of mistake that I made that actually worked out for the best, like a blessing in disguise, really. So let's see how it all turns out, and we'll keep going, and I'll check in soon. My husband took my daughter and a friend of his who brought his kids over to the air show. It's long weekend here in Canada, and we live near the lake, and there's a big air show, and we're also near like a really good coffee type place that's doing like a car show today. Anyway, so they're doing a whole day thing, and I am in full gremlin mode right now, looking a little bit feral. However, I wanted to show you how much I got done. So this is the stripe motif that I went for. And so what I ended up doing was I did the spacing between the first 2 identical, and then I made the spacing with this yarn, the original yarn, half the size of the first, the yellow stripes, just because I wanted them to look almost like they're fading out, but like a little bit more geometrical. And I mean, right now I actually have started on that pattern repeat that makes that little wavy kind of pattern in the ribbing. And I did the wavy part already. So now I'm just doing 1 by 1 rib, literally for as long as my heart desires, which I don't think my heart will desire it for long. But I think I'll do maybe 10 rows total of the ribbing at the bottom. And then we're going to block. I'll try it on before I block, just so I can get some footage of what that looks like. But it's nearly done. And I am so impressed with these stripes. Like I really feel like they made this shirt from just like a regular, like fun little colored Nora yarn shirt to something much cooler. And I do feel like it does need a good blocking to really open up the stitches so they don't look quite as messy, which I know the messy look is kind of what we're going for with this yarn. But I don't want the actual stitches to look messy. So this is what we have. I'm really excited. I'm really proud. I'm also going to cast on some socks because I need a new sock project for my lunches at work. So I'm going to do that because my hands are starting to hurt a little bit from all the striping, and then I'll get back to it. And I am really hoping to finish this today. I think it's very doable. So let's do it. It's done. The sweater is done. I was going to try it on when I finished it, like pre-blocking, and kind of show you what that looked like. But I finished it so late at night and I was so tired and the lighting was not great and I was going to work the next day and I kind of wanted it to have for this weekend or this week. We're going to a cottage and I wanted to wear it there because I think it's going to be so cute to wear it to a cottage. And I just wanted it done. So I wanted to block it, dry it, the whole thing, pack it with me. But it's finished and I'm absolutely obsessed with it. Like, I'm obsessed with this top. So first, I think I probably could have made the sleeves a little longer. I do have some of the Nora yarn left. And so I could always extend, like undo the bind off and extend the ribbing if I want to, but I'm kind of back and forth because maybe tell me in the comments what you think, because I don't have too many tops that have like a shorter sleeve. I just feel kind of like, sometimes I feel self-conscious just about like my arms, I guess. I don't know. And so I feel like it's more flattering to my shape to have sleeves that are a bit longer. However, I would like to kind of get over that. And I think it really works with the way that this top is. Also, like, you could totally probably hear my toddler. She's having like a blast downstairs playing video games. But I think it works for the top itself because it is somewhat cropped. Like, I don't know if you can kind of see, but my belly button is here and then it's here. So I made it not too long because I do like the idea of kind of doing this like half tuck thing in the front, just tucking in the front a bit. I like how it looks and I think the back is really nice. So I ended up doing just 2 more stripes after I last cut you up, and then I did the ribbing, so you can kind of see on this yarn more, this yellowy, this greenish yellow, you can see that design a bit more coming on the ribbing. So I didn't do too much more. It kind of really flew by after I last got you up. Italian bind off on this thing was not fun because the yarn is like, the way that this yarn works, it's got that like thicker and thinner spin to it, and the thicker parts are almost like they're almost unspun. Like, they're just so soft and so easy to break, and so it would get to a point where I'd be doing the Italian bind off, and because there's so much yarn that you're pulling through to cover the whole circumference, it would just like kind of rip. And so I would have to like tie it off and keep doing it. And that was kind of a pain, but you can't tell on the edges. They look really, really nice. And they look really, really good. If I feel like the edges are getting stretchy, especially like if I keep tucking it in, I will consider putting a stretchy cord, like a stretchy thread into it. I did that on the actual collar because I pretty much always, unless I'm using like a wool yarn fiber, if I'm using natural fibers, I find that they stretch out, especially in the ribbing, a lot. And so I always put something in the collar to keep it in shape. And I love how that looks usually because it really cinches it in. And I think in this case, it works like really, really well, especially with like the raglan, and it just kind of gives it like such a nice shape to it. So honestly, the more I look at it in camera, I do like the sleeves the way they are because I don't have too many tops with shorter sleeves like this. So I think I do need to get over myself a little bit in this case. But color combination winning. I absolutely love this. And it didn't take very long to knit. I think it took me about just under 3 weeks to do the whole top, which is really great. I did finish it in August like I intended to, or maybe 3 weeks total actually altogether, because I took a couple of breaks there. But that's a really decent amount considering that we did have some issues with me not having enough yarn, which now in hindsight, I didn't have enough to do the full top, but I had enough, more than I thought I did. So I probably could have made it down to here, which still would have been way too cropped, right? And so I think this striping is super cute, and it was a really great addition. Like, I think it really makes this look way more like a design feature and like really thoughtful than just like, oh, I ran out of yarn, which is what it was. So yeah, I hope you guys like this little vlog. I'm like literally in love with this top. I'm going to be wearing it all the time. I think it's going to be my regular kind of go-to because I think it'll be really great between the seasons. Like, because it's not warm, I could wear it on the, maybe not the blazing hot days because it is still on the thicker side. But on days like today, when it was like 22 degrees or so outside with like a slight breeze and wasn't so boiling, you know, and then I could also transition it into fall and then wear it in spring. And even in the winter, like I can do a turtleneck underneath this, or a blazer over it, or a little sweater over it. Like, there's just the possibilities are endless, and I think it's such a perfect little top. I am in love. I'm obsessed with it. Love it, love it, love it. And so if you were thinking of knitting a top, I highly recommend the Peony Tee. The pattern is so well written. The designer did like just a phenomenal job. It's so easy to understand, so easy to follow. And it is like a simple kind of t-shirt, but with a spin. And again, you can do what I did and stripe it out or add some kind of design, some kind of color work into it. So there's all types of ways to dress this pattern up. And I really love that. I think I'll probably be making it. I might make this into, like, use the pattern and turn this into a sweater, give it more positive ease, and make the sleeves longer and do a long sleeve top. I could do maybe like a turtleneck version of it. I really love the way that this pattern was written. And like I said, I really love the short row shaping for the chest. And so that was a really nice touch, I thought. And so I think it would be really nice for any kind of more fitted top, which usually when I knit, like from what I've seen at least too, also like with t-shirts, especially when you're knitting with natural fibers, they stretch out, and so that negative ease kind of goes away. But in this case, like, I really feel like it is such a flattering fit, and it just covers like all the areas I'm usually like a little bit self-conscious about, except the arms. But like I said, I will get over that. I will make it my resolution before the end of the year. I'm getting over my weird arm thing. So that's gonna happen. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this vlog. I'm gonna go and live in this top forever. It's my new best friend. I guess I will see you in the next video, where I will probably still be wearing this top. As always, thank you so much for joining me here. I just choked for no reason, but happy yarning. I love this top so much, I actually choke. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.